Hiya ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Elden Ring. It's your boy GRINN back at it again. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we might have done goofed. Yeah, so you know how I made a whole big video, long as hell, about us getting Deathroot. Going to this werewolf brother, big old hunk of whatever he is, and basically providing him Deathroot. Now, when the game first launched, people were saying that there was 5. I found out that there was actually 6. So I was like, cool, I could make this video for you guys, get you guys all that you need. And then I found out a couple days ago that there's actually way more. There's 9 in total, so a whole nother 3. But I don't feel so bad because these are actually a bit of a pain in the ass to get. Step 1. Get into the Faith City. You can do this by going to this location, banking around to the far upward part of the thing, hooking around. There's going to be a horseman. You're going to need to kill him, and now you have access to the Faith City. 1 boss down. Now you're going to need to push into the city. There's 1,000 routes to go about this. You're going to need to get to here. Basically, it's the same kind of Knights of the Round Table hub area, but in the city. Cool, now that you've made it there, you're going to exit that area, and then you're going to hook downward. And then you're going to see this tree root kind of connecting to the platform. You're going to run around until you basically get access into the side of the building following the tree root. You are going to go into this area, fight a boss, kill said boss. He's going to give you a medallion. Good job. You're going to push further beyond that, kill the quote-unquote main boss, and you are going to be rewarded with the other half of the medallion. Now you are going to head towards the Grand Lift. And you just cut through, it's pretty obvious. Yeah, go straight through. Got it. Cool. Now that you're at the Grand Lift, you are going to have access to go to the snowy biome. Cool. So now you're at the snowy biome, lovely jubbly. You are going to need to run and run again until you are far deep within the snowy biome. You are going to basically run by a graveyard, which is going to be one of the Deathroot people that we're going to need to kill, but don't worry about them. We'll come to him later. We're just trying to get access to everything. Now, eventually you will make your way towards this castle, and you'll have to kill Commander Nil within inside. Essentially, after you kill him, you're going to climb up his tower, and then you are going to be awarded with a medallion. Now, we are not done yet. That is 1 half of a medallion. We need the other half. We are going to go to the area that is basically the School of Magic, near the swamp-ass kind of area. Anyways, you're going to go down, and you're going to go underneath the mountain itself, and underneath that mountain, there is going to be a pot. You are going to need to break that pot, and of course, grab the medallion. Now, you can activate the second or bottom level of the mountaintop, which is going to be the area in which we need access in order to just blitzkrieg and get all of these Deathroots. So you need to make that level of progression in order to be able to do this. So hence why, not exactly upset that we've delayed this a little bit, because I imagine some of you finally are here now, or long past it, because yeah. But anyways. Alright, so let's go get the first Deathroot. It is located in the same area that we just got access to by getting to the second area of the Snowy Mountains. Basically you're going to spawn in and turn around to head deeper back into the catacombs / little mini dungeon. Now, this is going to be something that we are going to just let play out, follow in my footsteps, we'll say, because this is actually quite annoying to get to. There's invisible ground. You drop down from the railing, you are going to turn back around and then start heading that way. And then basically be on the lookout for a distant door, and then as soon as you see that door, position yourself right in front of it, far in the distance, and make your way straight. Anyways, so when you get to this point, when you're finally going to enter into solid ground, don't jump down to the platform below, right there, perfect. Now, we actually want access to that switch, the thing that the giant Cthulhu monster is actually on, so be better than me and actually wait at the stairs and try to pull aggro so that he actually starts moving away from the switch itself. I would highly advise, if you guys don't have Bloodhound Step, it is a godsend for just running through a lot of encounters that you otherwise just don't need to fight. Pull the switch and then you're good to go. The door that's off in the far distance is now fully unlocked, the thing that's further down that way, and you'll be good to go. And then you just open the door and now you have to fight a mimic of yourself, my friends. Now there are ways to MacGyver that around by holding a weapon or doing some sort of weird thing to mess up the AI so they're going into the fight with less, so be careful not to injure yourself too bad. But yes, you want to probably take off on sort of crazy fast past attacking abilities and such. But I digress. After you are done killing the mimic of yourself, you are going to be given a cool summon. It's the kind of like fire monk like people. They're actually quite good. So a pretty decent summon overall. But then we are going to, of course, go to the chest. We have our Deathroot. That is the first of many, kind of 2 more to go. But the next one is going to require a lot more explanation. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, but we'll get there. So the next location is actually in the previous region, the region that you could access first to the mountains. Essentially, it's right by the Grand Lift, so look right there. Is essentially, as soon as we leave the Grand Lift, it's right where we see the bridge where the fire keepers are, and then we're just going to, instead of going on the bridge and going past it, we're going to try to go low, so it eventually deviates downwards into a door, and that is a cave. Good, now you've arrived. Okay, so this dungeon is kind of confusing and kind of makes everything look similar, and you can get lost quite easily. The important notes here is, 1, be careful with the goblins so they don't push you off the lift and kill you horribly. Anyways, but the importance here is to just look for the second elevator and to don't go up the second elevator. Instead, activate it. It's going to show you a platform underneath or a place where you can drop down and then go there. By the way, we're trying to unlock that door, which we need to find a switch. Now, even though it may look like you've been to places before, keep pushing deeper and deeper in, following whatever path lets you go forward. Also, hug tight to the left of the walls, because there's some plates here that if you step on, will shoot you, and if you don't have Bloodhound Step and a quick finger, you might get knocked down. So, be careful. Also, you do not need to fight anything in this whole dungeon, but when you make it to that place, when you've dropped down, that elevator that you encounter really in close proximity, not the one that takes you up the stairs, but just the one that takes you up, that is what you're going to want to drop down and do. And then when you drop down there, it's really obvious. You just go into the room, you're on the top floor of that place, and there's of course a awesome switch there that you got to pull, and now you have that door open, and then it's as simple as climb your way back up, and you are good to go. Now you can fight the boss, which, by the way, is a wily, crazy boss. It's one of those gelatinous meat sacks that just writhes and hits you, and also, heaven forbid, you're playing a melee character and you try to get close, and just by being in close proximity, the thing moves 2 inches and you get smashed. Really annoying, frustrating. Use your summons, and hopefully, if you're a faith character or a strength character, you have had some sort of weapon that has range capacity, because it's going to be really hard to get on top of this thing, considering how fast it moves for being a gross gelatinous thing. Anywho, yeah, when it's dead and done, now the hard part is over. Now we just need to go kill a undead boatman who's kind of sedentary and stays to one place and is pretty easy. Not a boss that can grab you, bite you, and burn you in half a second. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, I saved the most relaxed for the last, or the least hard for the last. Essentially, we're going to be fighting one of the last boatman people, the boat undead ferryman kind of thing. You're going to want to head over to this point on the map, right by the same fort that we got the medallion from to get access to the other area after killing that boss. Yes, he's in that same area, so you're going to want to head over there and go to this specific location that I showed you, and essentially you're just going to drop down and start fighting him. Try to kill him as quick as possible, because now he has those little rolly skulls that are quite annoying, so be primed and ready for that. Again, if you happen to play a mage or any sort of ranged character, you can kind of stay from afar, or even stay on your horse and be relatively okay. So, regardless, knock him dead, and then you are awarded your final Deathroot. Now, let's go see if it is worth getting these additional 3. Until they buff them, spoiler alert, not really. Anyways.
I won't forget. Again. Mine appetite. My sin. I must have more. I must consume more. It is all consumed. Still, I am not sated. Not nearly sated. America! Is this what it is to sin? Will things never be the same again? thanks for thy long labor, but I have done all I can in this land. Henceforth, mine appetite shall be my sole companion. Farewell.
And just like that, our big old werewolf brother is gone. He is no more. Is sad. But it is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, his last 3 gifts onto us was, in order, a badass new strength scaling kind of, I don't know if it's a hammer or considered a great axe or something, or a great hammer, something like that. Regardless, it's a giant spiked, I believe, blunt weapon that is huge and requires an exorbitant amount of strength and, of course, faith to use. I say exorbitant, 20 strength is actually not that crazy, but still. Also a little bit of dex, but anyways, I digress. This is a pretty interesting weapon. It is quite slow, but its unique ability is incredibly cool looking. Its unique ability is basically you just throwing a ton of shrapnel. The classic claw smash, or the claw, beast claw, whatever it's called. That is the same kind of thing, except with a greater radius, and for the ability for you to charge it for greater range. Of course, that is still within the weapon as well. Also, if you two-hand this weapon, it's going to do more damage because it's scaling up your strength stat, all those things. Anyways, but ladies and gentlemen, pretty cool. Again, this is, the beast powers is meant for the strength and faith hybrids, the kind of like melee and faith builds, and is pretty good, but until they buff incantations, it's, to me, not worth, the juice ain't worth a squeeze, so to speak. But the attack set is pretty cool. It's actually faster than you might think. And yeah, and also you can do the charge attacks and they kind of sequence really well. It's a badass looking weapon. It's entirely made of like claws ordained within gold. Awesome. Anyway, so that's the first weapon. But the second, the Garld's Beast Claw, his whole thing, is basically this giant AoE hit of all of the beast shrapnel kind of scrapes, shrapneling out in all kinds of directions. Does hit in front of you, and also it's quite cheap to cast. But it is also very, very, well, it's not as strong as other or incantations even, and not even close to any magic actual sorceries. So yes, that's my whole feeling about this, is I love the quest line. It was actually felt awesome that you had to earn a lot of the stuff by killing bosses, by pushing through dungeons, by knowing where to go at certain locations on the map. And having played Magic, you're just given, you can easily get like amazing spells right at the cuff with no level of investment or progression really needed, which is wild. Meanwhile, the faith and strength classes, you need to bust your ass to hell and back just to get these, and they don't scale well at all. They're not very damage heavy nor efficient in any way, which is a damn bummer. And I think it's maybe because people were saying that the Beast Claw was so OP in the beta, not to realize that there's other more OP things. And Beast Claw was actually pretty chill, all things considered, with what we have now in the game. I digress. But ladies and gentlemen, it's still a very, very fun weapon. And of course, a very, very cool, like a lot of the incantations look beautiful, which is why it makes it all the more painful that they're not actually optimal, some would say. Or even, yeah, optimal is, I guess, the best way I could put it. Because you could use it, but you may feel like you're having to hit an extra 3 times, which feels a little bad, at least to me. But I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, the other thing that we were actually given is a shard, which actually is like the unrefuted takeaway of this. They could buff these in the future, which is why I still think this video should be made, because they could buff incantations and all these things. But again, the shard is like a 1-to-1 gain. It is a shard for smithing weapons, which is weapons that can go to 25, not somber smithing stones and stuff like that, which are unique weapons that can be brought to plus 10, I believe, or maybe it's 12, I forget. But regardless, 25 is where we can now bring one of our weapons to, because we now have that shard. They are really, really rare and an endgame resource, which is also why it took such a long time to get us just one of these. A whole ass quest as the final reward, and as a good send-off from our beast brethren. But ladies and gentlemen, here's hoping that they actually give us some buffs to incantations or something like that, or have them scale better so that they make more endgame viable kind of things. I did try a lot of the stuff, like try to make the beast classes work, and functionally it was just always eclipsed by other ways of playing Beast, like electric spells and such like that. Also just synergizing way greater with using your faith to support your defense and stuff, and then also pivoting heavily to the finding a weapon that scales up its Ash of War to a greater extent. Even with the nerf of Frost Stomp, that was the thing that I found the greatest power in. And also a good bit of variety because there's plenty of awesome Ashes of War. But anyways, I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you guys do enjoy the rest of your day. This is a very, very cool weapon and a very, very fun quest line. I just wish it was worth all the bang for all the buck that you have to progress through. And hopefully it will be in the future. But alas, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye, my friends.